Hey, Bright Lights, welcome back to the Space Doctor series. My name is Angela. I'm an architect, researcher, and feng shui practitioner, and I make it my mission to bring you thoughtful weekly videos that help unpack the science behind design for well-being, because this is real. You get the benefit of my career's worth of research into this, broken down into useful, actionable steps that anyone can understand and use, whether or not you are a design professional. So you're going to want to make sure you like and subscribe, because you're going to hear something different, even if I pull the same card again. So we do this using my Genesis deck, which has two parts: foundational concepts, which are the core things related to wellness or dis-ease, and the aspects part of the deck, which are 5 core theories that my research has shown contribute to salutogenesis. So every single week, I set an intention that the cards are going to be the things we most need to be learning about, thinking about, applying, having a conversation about, and then we talk about them. So for this week, the card I drew from the foundational concepts part of the deck is the trauma card. And you can see on the card, it's kind of dark and murky, and there's a snake whose eyes kind of glow. That's really what trauma is, right? It is an emotional response that is created by a severe, distressing event. And the thing with trauma is it is not about the event itself, it is about the lasting effects. And those keep haunting us, right? They're murky in our consciousness, and they can be triggered just like a snake can. But the snake is an interesting symbol because it also, from ancient times, has been a symbol of transformation and healing. So I think that is an important thing to take away, is that we can heal from trauma, that trauma can be part of what makes us stronger, not what makes us weaker. Now, the card that I drew from the aspects part of the deck is the play card. Now, this seems kind of crazy, right? Play and trauma, what is this? I think it's also interesting because play has been coming up a lot recently. And I think it is because oftentimes when it feels like life is heavy and we're going through a lot, we can get bogged down. And play is actually an important way to process things, to make sense of life, and to re-regulate our nervous system. So first, let's talk about the fact that play is part of the relaxation response alphabet of cards, and relaxation response is associated with the water element in feng shui. It is water healing. It is about renewal. So a lot of connections back to the snake symbolism even on the trauma card. And relaxation response really just refers to activities that reset us back to our parasympathetic nervous system, that healing place to be. Now, play is defined very simply as an activity engaged in for enjoyment and recreation, but it is so much more powerful than that. And you can see in the card, the mountains in the background represent the struggles that are behind us, right? That play helps us move past that. The snow represents the fact that we can have a clean blanket, right? A smoothing over. Now, what this might have to do with trauma, you're wondering, is that play is a really important part of moving past trauma. there is actually a whole field of study called trauma-informed play. And in that, the act of play is used to process trauma. So play isn't just about having fun, but it is about being able to move past a trauma. And this is especially something that's been studied with children, but I think adults need play, and we often don't give play enough credit as adults. We write it off. And I'm going to challenge you this week to put a little bit more play in your life. Now, we're here on this channel to talk specifically not just about the science, but about what does it mean for space. So for trauma-informed play, you really want to make sure that you, first of all, always have openness so that you feel safe, secure, there's good visibility and sight lines. But you also want to make sure that you have those areas to pull back into that feel safer and more enclosed, so that there's a little bit of balance where you can take what feels like safe risk, but also where you can pause and reset. And also to have a defined entry or exit, so that again, you have that sense of, if this feels like too much, I don't feel trapped, I know how to get out. You want predictability. So the layout is clear, it's easy to understand. Whatever kind of activity you're going to do there, there's clear rules about how to do it and why to do it. We want to think a lot about choice and control in those sorts of play environments. So giving a lot of different kinds of spaces, flexible seating, even things that help with self-regulation, like the ability to fidget or play with things or move things around, art supplies, things like that, that lets somebody really express themselves or work out nervous energy. We want to think about comfort and connection. So, of course, we want to bring in nature, but also soft texture, coziness. And lastly, we want to think about sensory regulation. That's an important part of moving past trauma, is that we can re-regulate. A lot of times when somebody is traumatized, they dissociate. Their mind-body connection severs because it's too painful to be in the body. So a lot of trauma-informed play is about role-playing and acting through things and processing the trauma. But we also need to have a lot of things that connect physically to the five senses that really help to re-embody someone and re-regulate their nervous system. I hope that this has really helped you get some insight into trauma and how we can help think about dealing with trauma through design choices. And if you enjoyed learning about this, if you would like to keep learning with me, make sure that you do like and subscribe. And that way you won't miss a single update. It's also the best way to support the channel and the work that goes into making these videos for you every week. So I so appreciate you being here with me, and I will see you next time.